This is Gene Lance from the Dallas AFL-CIO. National Labor Movement has asked us to stand up for labor during the period around Labor Day in our churches, mosques, and synagogues. They've also sent, from time to time, a number of quotes that may be useful in the speeches that you make, even though you're probably not going to speak more than 3 to 5 minutes. Here's something that came from the Catholic Church. They said, quote, "Labor can have no effective voice as long as it is unorganized. To protect its rights, it must be free to bargain collectively through its own chosen representatives." And then, I like this one. This came from Pope John Paul II. Quote, "Unions are good for working people." This one came at another time from the National Council of Churches, and it said, "Resolved that the National Council record its conviction that not only has labor a right to organize, but also that it is socially desirable that is do so because of the need for collective action in the maintenance of standards of living." This came from the Methodist Church. Quote, "Collective bargaining in its mature phase is democracy applied." This came from Billy Graham himself. Billy Graham said, quote, "Jesus Christ was a laborer and he would be a union member now. He would belong to the Carpenters Union. The fact that he was a laborer gives dignity to the working man." This is a quote from the Presbyterian Church. "Labor unions have been instrumental in achieving a higher standard of living and in improving working conditions. They have helped to obtain safety and health measures against occupational risk, to achieve a larger degree of protection against child labor, to relieve the disabled, the sick, the unemployed, and to gain a more equitable share in the value of what they produce." Here's one from the Southern Baptist Convention. Quote, "We recognize the right of labor to organize and to engage in collective bargaining to the end that labor may have a fair and living wage, such as will provide not only for the necessities of life, but for recreation, pleasure, and culture." Here's from the Lutheran Church, quote, "It is the right of every man to organize with his fellow workers for collective bargaining through representatives of his own free choice." This is a Jewish quote. "We believe that the denial of the right of workers to organize and to form group associations so that they may treat as economic equals with their employers is tantamount to a curtailment of human freedom. For that reason, we favor the unionization of all who labor." Pretty good, huh? And then some of these quotes come directly from the Bible. This is from St. Matthew 25:40. Quote, "Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it to one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me." And similarly, Romans 12:26, "If one member suffers, all suffer." And this is 1 Corinthians, "If one member suffers, all suffer together with it. If one member is honored, all rejoice together with it." You see how much that sounds like the old Knights of Labor slogan, that an injury to one is the concern of all? We usually say an injury to one is an injury to all. And don't forget, if you're talking to church people or synagogues or mosques, don't forget the undocumented workers, because labor stands up for the undocumented workers, and so does the Bible. And there's a whole bunch of quotes about this, but this one came from Deuteronomy chapter 24, verses 14 and 15. Quote, "You shall not abuse a needy and destitute laborer, whether a fellow countryman or a stranger in one of the communities of your land. Ye must pay him his wages on the same day before the sun sets, for he is needy and urgently depends upon it." I have a lot more of those. This is Gene Lance from the Dallas Labor Council, hoping you'll speak up for labor on the Sundays and weekends before Labor Day, or maybe the week before, or maybe the week after. At any rate, speak up for labor.